Donald and the Breakaways. Donald and Douglas, the Scottish twins, didn't mind what job they did. Coaches or trucks, it was all the same to them. Which meant, more often than not, they were put in charge of trucks, since the big engines disliked them intensely. "You don't really like them, do you?" James asked in amazement one day. "Oh, it's all work," remarked Douglas. "If we didn't do it, no one else would." James marveled at this. He hated trucks himself, but he had to admit Donald and Douglas managed to keep them in order better than anyone else, barring Edward. The secret, of course, was that the trucks hadn't forgotten the incident where Douglas had smashed the spiteful brake van. It had been accidental, but no one had told the trucks that, and they still thought Douglas had done it deliberately. "Keep on the right side of those two," they warned each other whenever the twins were about. One day, Donald had to take empty trucks to the other railway and bring back loaded ones. The empties behaved well, and when Donald reached the big station on the mainland, he was feeling good. "We've got those trucks licked into shape," he congratulated himself. What he didn't realize was that the loaded ones he was about to take back were visitors, and had never been licked into shape by anyone. "What's this?" they screeched as Donald backed down towards them. "We want a proper engine, not an old-fashioned steam kettle." They should, to tell the truth, have known better, but then trucks hardly ever do, and that's not surprising. "Old-fashioned?" cried Donald, who took offense more easily than his brother. "I'll teach you a lesson. Take that!" And he gave the trucks a fierce shove. "He's getting uptight," sniggered the trucks. "Let's have a little fun." They behaved surprisingly well for a while, and Donald started to think he had them under control. Like the trucks, he ought to have known better. By the time they reached the workstation, an axle box had run hot on one of the trucks, and they had to shunt that one off the train. At the next station, the guard had to get out and fasten the brakes, which had slipped on accidentally on purpose, as the old saying goes. One delay followed another, and Donald gradually became crosser and crosser. "Oh, you stupid things," he scolded. But the trucks didn't care a bit. "What does he know about it?" they asked each other. "Let's face it, we're modern. We're not out of date like his sort." "Steam kettle," they laughed. Little did they foresee that change was afoot. At the top of Gordon's Hill, several miles further on, Donald stopped so the wagon brakes could be checked along the train. Unfortunately, they were running so far behind schedule at this point that he restarted much faster than intended, and the resulting jerk broke an old coupling hook 10 trucks from the end. Feeling the snatch, Donald's fireman looked back. They were already a little way down the hill by this point, but coming after them, and gradually gathering speed on the slope, he saw the last 10 trucks and the brake van. "We've got to keep ahead of them, Donald! Quickly now!" he said. "Oh, I just hope there's nothing at the platform at Edward Station." "But we're supposed to stop there and leave some of these trucks anyway," objected Donald. "Can't help that," replied the driver. "If those rascals you call trucks catch us, we'll stop earlier than that, because they'll knock us off the rails." "Well, what are we waiting for then?" gasped Donald, who hastily accelerated to full speed. It was touch and go to start with. If the guard's handbrake and the van hadn't been restraining the breakaways slightly, Donald couldn't have kept ahead, but he managed it just. They saw Edward Station in front. Whistling at full volume, Donald raced towards it, while the trucks followed, screaming with fright. Quickly, the signalman sized up the situation and set the line ahead to clear as far as he could, as Donald clattered safely past. Then came the trucks. But the signalman saw, to his relief, that they were slowing down by the time they reached his box. With a groan of relief, they stopped just beyond the platform. The signalman sent out a danger warning and set all his signals to danger as well. Then he waited. When he was sure the trucks had come to a standstill, Donald stopped too, half a mile further on. "We shall need permission to go back," the driver told the fireman. "Please go clear it with the signalman." When he had permission, Donald was able to go carefully back towards the trucks. He bumped them fiercely as soon as he got there. "Now will you behave yourselves?" he growled. And this time, the trucks had scared even themselves. Yes, we will. Not to worry," they quivered uncertainly. You bet on it." And in this way, Donald managed to finish the rest of his journey without any further trouble.